Hi guys, and welcome back to the Crochet Tour YouTube channel. In today's video I'm doing another episode of Tor Tries, and I've got a free crochet pattern to share with you guys today that I found on the internet. And yeah, I just wanted to show you what I've made in case any of you are interested in also making the same. So what I'm going to be showing you is this little music note bag, and this was designed by Nordic Hook. So if you're interested in finding out more about the pattern and the designer, keep watching. So the reason I made this bag is as a present for my dad's birthday. He really likes music, so I crocheted music related free crochet patterns, and this was one of the first ones that popped up. So as I mentioned, I found the pattern on the Nordic Hook website, and it's a free pattern. The pattern is in English, and in terms of the level of difficulty, I would say it's kind of a medium level. There are quite a lot of different techniques and sort of crochet stitches used in this pattern. So to give you an example of what you'd be needing to know in order to be able to do this pattern, that's tapestry crochet, which is basically just crocheting around but with another colour underneath and always carrying it around the project. So I kind of do that sometimes in some of my amigurumi patterns, and I didn't actually know that that was technically called tapestry crochet, but that's one of the methods that you would need to know to do this pattern. But then there's also things like yarn under, back loop only work, colour changing, and also crocheting around a foundation chain. However, one thing to mention is that the pattern does have pictures and gives you quite detailed steps in terms of how to do all of those different techniques and stitches. So if you're not sure on how to do them, then you should still be able to have an attempt at it using the detailed pictures that are provided in the pattern. In terms of the pattern designer herself, it looks like she's called Yeva, but she sort of works under the name of Nordic Hook. And I had a little look on the website, and there are quite a lot of free patterns available on there, and they're all kind of practical objects. So it's not really amigurumi things like I have on my channel. It's more things, you know, like coasters or bags and things like that that actually have some practical application, which I quite like. And I'm probably going to have a look at some of the other patterns on her website because I'm interested in seeing what else I could make with her patterns. And also looking on social media, it looks like she's on Facebook, Instagram and Pinterest, and she's got about 30,000 followers on Instagram, so probably quite a well-known crochet designer. So in terms of a bit more detail of what I've made then, so obviously I made this bag, so that was the back, and then this is the front, and it does close up if you pull on these, but not all of the way, at least on my one it doesn't. And then obviously inside the bag you can put whatever you want, so there's quite a lot of room in there. You could probably fit a gift card or maybe some sweets or something like that within this bag, so I think it is quite good for like a gift or birthdays and things like that. And then for me, I used DK yarn and a 3mm crochet hook. I think she uses a lighter weight of yarn and a 2mm crochet hook in her pattern, but I think there's no reason why you can't just use whatever you want to use in terms of yarn weight and hook size. The pattern was really easy for me to follow, in my opinion. And the time taken to make this, I would say it was somewhere between 10 and 20 hours, but I didn't track it exactly. It took longer than I thought it was going to be honest, and that's because I found the yarn under technique is not something I do very often, so I was having to put a lot more thought into it while I was doing this, and it was making me go a lot slower than I would have done if I would have just done my standard yarn over technique, but I wanted to follow the pattern exactly as it was written. So what I liked about the pattern was firstly that it allowed me to practice some techniques that I wouldn't normally do. So as I mentioned, I don't normally do yarn under, but this was an opportunity to practice doing that. And I know quite a lot of people like doing that for amigurumi and they think it makes it look nicer. So maybe I'll try that for some amigurumi pieces in the future. But yeah, that was interesting to try out. And then also tapestry crochet as well is not something I would regularly be doing. Like I said, I kind of do it in amigurumi in terms of sometimes when there's a lot of colour changes in like subsequent rounds, I would just carry that same colour around with me throughout the rounds, just so that I don't have to keep cutting and then rejoining in the yarn and things like that. But it was interesting to kind of understand what tapestry crochet actually means, because it's a term I heard but didn't like really look into it in too much detail because it wasn't particularly relevant for amigurumi. The other thing I liked about the pattern is that it's very customizable. Firstly with the colours, obviously you can choose whatever colours you want. She used different colours to what I had in my bag. I ended up going with a yellow because that's my dad's favourite colour and I wanted to customise it for him, but you could obviously use whatever colours you want in your bag. And along the same line of customisation, so within the pattern itself, it uses a little chart to show you where you need to be changing colours in all of the rounds. So firstly, it's good to practice using a chart rather than a written pattern to understand where colour changes are and things like that. But secondly, once you've done it once and you understand how the chart works, it would be very easy for you to sort of create your own motif that you wanted on your bag. So if you wanted like a star or a heart or something on your bag instead, you would just need to adapt the chart that she already provided to put the colour changes in the relevant squares, and then you could come up with something that's completely your own design as well. So I quite like that as well. And then you can also change the yarn weight and hook size that you use as well, so you can make it smaller or bigger depending on what the bag is going to be used for. You could even increase the number of stitches in the foundation chain as well, and that would also increase the width of the bag if there was a particular thing that you wanted to be able to fit inside it. So it is very customizable. So yeah, I really like that. And then just aside from that, the pattern was very detailed, lots of pictures, lots of explanation. So I feel like even someone that didn't have too much experience with all of the different stitches and techniques would have been able to have a go at this. For me, there was only one downside of the pattern, and it may have just been me not doing something completely right, or, you know, I wouldn't normally make bags, so this isn't something that I have much experience in, but I do note that my bag doesn't like fully close up. Even if I pull it quite tightly, it only goes so far. It might just be because I used a thicker weight of yarn, and that means that, you know, it's not going to close up all nicely like her one does because she used a lighter weight of yarn. So it could be that simple, but that's like the one downside of the thing that I've created. But as I say, it might just be my misunderstanding rather than anything wrong with the pattern itself. So overall, you can probably tell, but I would 100% recommend you try out this pattern. It's a free pattern, and you can also purchase it in a ad-free PDF version for quite cheap as well, or you can purchase it to support the designer too. So yeah, there's lots of different options there, but like I said, it's very customizable. You know, sort of a medium timeline project in terms of it taking about 10 to 20 hours, and lots of different ways that you can make it your own, and you can use it for all different types of things and gifts and stuff like that. So yeah, I really enjoyed doing this pattern, and like I said, I'll definitely check out some more on her website. If there's any other free patterns that you want me to try out, or any other type of videos that you want from me, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. And other than that, I will see you in the next video. Bye guys!